Hey guys, it's Maya. I thought I would do some Reiki art today because it's snowing in Oakbank. It's our first snow day. It's October. It's unseasonably early and it's probably going to go away, but it's a snow day, so the kids are home. So if you hear Wyatt and Nessie in the background, welcome to my world. So we're going to get started by explaining Reiki art. So obviously, been around as long as there's been Reiki because most likely artists immediately went towards that with how they do everything, take it to art. So for me, Reiki healing art done this way is a holistic method. It's mixed media. We're gonna burn some bay leaf because I'm out of incense, but the idea for me is to bring in all the elements when working with Reiki. So this here is a combination of fire and air and earth. So quite a nice combination. And bay leaf is supposed to be very soothing. Hi, Roz. I see you there. I'm going to try this. So bear with me if I'm mumbling, muttering, running on, or just completely confused. Get that bay leaf going. Okay, so holistic how? Okay, so there's all the elements involved in Reiki art. You want to bring a bit of your earth, your air, your fire, and your water as a means of connecting with the life force that Reiki represents. Reiki is, after all, just a Japanese word for universal life-giving energy, I believe, loosely translated. So to mimic that kind of energy, or to engage in a little bit of sympathetic magic, the idea is to bring that to what I'm working on. So I bring incense for air. I also bring my breath because when you're working with the Reiki art format that I like to do, I mean, pick up your paper, move it around, get the color moving, use your breath, charge it up with the Reiki. You might have heard it termed Odic breath, where you charge the air in your lungs deliberately with, oh, hey Wyatt, my son is joining me at the table, so.
And also I'm drawing a 2D video time machine.
Oh yes,
comic.
Time machines are a big thing in the house right now. Wyatt is drawing time machines.
Let me show you the picture of it.
All right.
It's right.
Ooh, bay leaf for manifestation. Thanks, Roz. Okay, so Wyatt would like to interject. This is his time machine art.
And that's the Doctor Who time machine, right, Mom? From the TV shows.
That's right. And what happens to it?
It blowed up, and then to be realized he could put the low light on top of the time machine on his head to make a helmet.
Oh, next page? Okay. Well, you draw that while Mom works on this, okay? Okay, so a little bit of air with my incense, or bay leaf in this case. I also fire. I'd like to have a candle going, but right now that doesn't seem like a good idea. So what I am using, I'm going to try and tilt the camera here, for fire today, aside from my spirit, is this hot pot of wax. Thank you to my mom for the Little Dipper crock pot. It's been very useful. So that'll hold our fire element. Water comes in the form of my favorite colored glass, cobalt blue goblet. Now, it's been a very long time, and I'm doing this live, and it's probably not going to work. The way that I like to bring water. I don't think I can get it to sing today.
Oh, come on. Can I try?
You have to wet your fingers, bud.
My fingers.
Yep, put them in the water. Okay.
Am I doing it right?
You're almost there. Mom will show you how to do it really good after. How about that? That way we can keep moving. Almost.
That's like a time machine music.
Of course it is.
Kaboom!
And I just like to pull myself to my center using sound and charge the water with the Reiki. Having said that, if you're not a Reiki practitioner in washing, but you do have a sort of inner alphabet that you use for healing modalities? Absolutely. This can completely be shifted into that. It's just a process. It's not specific to Reiki. All right, so that's how I bring water in. It's also what I would use to dip the brush in.
That's how it does.
So we've got the elements with us, and I'm not exactly centered, but that's okay. I think kids just are allowed. What's up, bud?
Where's the pen? Where did it go?
What pen?
What I had.
Oh, did it roll underneath something? On the floor, maybe?
Gone under the floor.
How about... I'll give you this one. Would that be okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you can use a paintbrush. Like this, let's say. Now, if you use it, you're probably never going to use it again after today because the wax is really hard on it. And it's hard to get out. But if you persevere, you probably could and reuse it, and then I'd be wrong. And that's fine. But just be aware that if you use the brush today, it will probably not be used for a little while. So that would mean that the type of brush you get, or the angle brush, or shape of the brush will really impact, because hot wax is fast. There is no room for doubt, which is why I love this for Reiki art, because Reiki to me is very open. It is not, well, it is what it is. So if you like it to be more pragmatic in the sense that this heals this and this heals that, that's absolutely cool too. But every once in a while, you gotta get out of your box and let Reiki be what Reiki is. And that's not always through the head space, right? It comes right out of the heart. So I find abstract art is a suitable medium to more quickly engage in that method of channeling the energy. So you can use any brush you want, but just know that the shape you use is the shape you get, and it's not gonna last very long. So often I won't even use a brush unless I'm using it with children, because this technique is actually a little trickier. You can use a knife, you can use a spoon, you could use a fork, you could use whatever tool you wanted.
Or a spork?
A spork, yes, you could use a spork. So this, you can easily clean off after. So it's a little more environmentally friendly in the art, in the sense that you're not going to throw it out. You're just going to heat it up, get the wax off, and go about using it. So there's my wax pot. Hey Roz, you still with me? Thanks, hun. So I'm just dipping my spoon in, just to give you an idea of what you'll see. Where's the camera? All right, so dries pretty quick. And it's hot, so be very careful. I've done a lot of finger burning over the last few years trying this stuff out. So definitely please use caution. I'll probably have to start every video with, please be an adult. Don't use this alone, especially if you're young. Anything hot in your room, no, go in the kitchen. I have had fires on my kitchen table in a pan for alcoholing flame work, so I didn't plan on that, but there it was. So I was really glad I wasn't being silly in a room I shouldn't have been in the first place. Okay, public service announcement over. You're gonna need to work fast, so keep your crock pot, your double boiler, your wax pot that you've now using as a Reiki pot, because that is what happened. No more brows were being waxed in my kitchen. My wax pot was my Reiki pot. However, it got broken. So I'm gonna be very quick. And this is where it's gonna make lots of type A personalities a little nuts, because you're not gonna have the time to create, oh, I want intricate. You could sit and plan your strokes like a dance almost, if you wanted, as sort of like a samurai way to get into this beforehand, and then be open to the fact that it probably won't go in any which way you can envision. Yeah, that would be fun to try as well. However, the whole point of what I'm showing you today is to get beyond that urge of your idea. I admit I'm aiming for fluid shapes because I do want it to be pleasing, but at the same time, if you're by yourself, your son's not watching his video games, you're alone, please engage deeper into what moves you with the work you're working on. I have done it with a brush, and I have made like a beautiful sort of rose, and it was awesome, but yeah, the brush was toast after, so. Here's your fire. So this is on there. Spoon's not horribly damaged. Wax pot's good. Move it over here. So next step, I am using this on watercolor paper, which is great because not only does it absorb a lot of the material that I'm about to put on it, once it dries, you can paint over and over and over. And I love mixed media. I'm really understanding that in a more tangible way, instead of just woohoo, you know, oh my gosh, I can use all my art supplies finally in an art. And it's one that's popular in social media, so you have a lot of support, encouragement, examples, inspiration to work with. So loving mixed media. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, mixed media is great for this because you can keep going with it. If I don't finish it all today's session, that's fine. I can put it away, pick it up with a different medium, maybe like a paint pen or something later. And again, you just bring the Reiki with you. So we've got this. No greasy spots. It can leave a greasy spot, absolutely. One way to pull this off is to pop it in the freezer for just a minute, pull it back out, and sort of lightly kind of fold it or raise it, and then the wax just pops off. Yes, if you're too close to the paper, like here, this will probably be the greasy spot. You know, you'll sort of see a darker smudge in there, whereas this line is a lot less dark, so I know that it hasn't really penetrated into the paper in that fashion. You could, if you really wanted to avoid this and have total control over the work, go with masking fluid, and that's fine. It just, to me, doesn't bring the fire element into the process. It's still more of a controlled ingredient. I want this, I want that, whereas the Reiki art that I'm doing here today isn't so much about me getting what I want and more about me just sort of getting into it and working with the colors as they come instead of picking it apart, because that's the analytical side of most artists, right? Anyway, so my blue cup is what water I'm going to use, which was so fun to actually have it sing. Now that's all I want to do upstairs in my kitchen. Of course, I loved Sandra Bullock and Miss Congeniality with her whole cup singing routine. That was awesome. And not that easy. I mean, once you get the hang of it, I suppose, but probably took a few takes, I guess. So we're going to wet the paper. Now, if you've ever read the book Hidden Messages in Water, this is a really meaningful stage in the process. You can definitely sit with it after you've sort of let it on and even do a couple layers of water. It might lift some of the wax, but hey, this is more about the process and not so much about perfection. So the water, I think I'm not going to do it because I would be a little embarrassed right now, but I can make myself think towards it. There is the Anishinaabe, or is it the Algonquin? The water song, and this would be a great time to hum that, sing it in your head even, over top of the water, just to reinforce the healing elements that you're working towards. You're also obviously from the get-go here, right? As you sat down, already embracing your Reiki energy, so you don't necessarily have to put symbols in your art or share any of that work that's happening inside. And if you're a Reiki practitioner, makes total sense. If you're not a Reiki practitioner, Reiki's all about attention and intention. So in this sort of framework, we're paying more attention to what we're doing because of the abstract nature of the art and the amount of mixed media, and we are able to maintain our intention because the art language kind of switches gears, sort of giving you that moment to, oh right, you know, am I thinking about Reiki, or did I start shopping for my groceries in my head, right? So again, it's supposed to be beneficial to you as a person and an artist and a Reiki person, as well as the piece or the person you would be, say, sending Reiki to. All right, so I'm using my Jane Davenport mermaid markers, largely because they're starting to burst out of the plastic, and every time I pick one up, I'm covered in ink after. So the sooner these run out, the sadder I will be, but then I'll just save up and get more. And in more colors, because I've only had like 4, and I would love a yellow. Anyway, so once these are done though, you don't put them in the trash, rinse them out. They are amazing water brush pens.